A journey of faith. How a married couple drew closer to God. It was a crisp autumn evening when Ethan and Sophia sat in their cozy living room, a silence hanging between them that spoke volumes. Married for 7 years, they had weathered the ups and downs of life. But lately, they felt more like roommates than partners. Work, bills, and the busyness of life had created a chasm in their relationship. Both longed for something more, but didn't know where to begin. One night, after another petty argument, Sophia broke down in tears. "Ethan, I don't know how we got here, but I feel like we're drifting apart. We need something, or someone, to bring us back together." Ethan, moved by her vulnerability, nodded. "Maybe it's time we try inviting God into our marriage. We've been doing this on our own for too long." The following Sunday, Ethan and Sophia attended church together for the first time in years. The sermon was about building a foundation on Christ, based on Matthew 7:24-27. The pastor's words struck a chord. A marriage built on anything other than Christ will struggle to withstand the storms of life. But when you put Him at the center, He binds you together in ways nothing else can. Ethan squeezed Sophia's hand, and for the first time in months, they prayed together that evening. They asked God to guide them, heal their relationship, and teach them how to love one another as He loved them. Determined to grow closer to God and each other, Ethan and Sophia began a daily practice of reading the Bible and praying together. They started small, reading a chapter from the book of Proverbs each night and discussing how it applied to their lives and marriage. One evening, they read Proverbs 3:5-6. "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Sophia smiled and said, "Maybe part of our struggle is that we've been leaning on our own understanding instead of trusting God." They also began praying not just for their marriage, but for one another. Ethan prayed for Sophia's peace and joy, and Sophia prayed for Ethan's strength and wisdom. These moments of prayer created a new sense of intimacy and connection between them. Their church announced an opportunity to volunteer at a local homeless shelter, and Ethan and Sophia decided to serve together. As they prepared meals and spoke with the guests, they saw the joy that came from serving others in Christ's name. One guest, an older man named James, shared his story of how God had brought him out of addiction and despair. His gratitude and faith deeply inspired Ethan and Sophia. On the drive home, Ethan said, "You know, serving together today felt like we were part of something bigger than ourselves. I think this is what we've been missing." Sophia nodded, tears in her eyes. "It's amazing how God can use us to bless others while also healing our own hearts." As they grew spiritually, Ethan and Sophia realized they had been holding on to resentment and unresolved conflicts. During one of their nightly prayers, Ethan confessed, "Sophia, I've been so focused on work and my own stress that I've neglected you. I'm sorry for the ways I've hurt you." Sophia, moved by his humility, replied, "I'm sorry too. I've let my frustration build up instead of talking to you about it. Let's leave the past behind and start fresh." Through prayer and God's grace, they began to forgive each other and communicate openly. They learned to see each other not as opponents, but as partners working toward a shared goal, honoring God in their marriage. Months later, Ethan and Sophia stood before their church congregation, sharing their testimony of how God had restored their marriage. "We were lost," Sophia said, "but when we turned to God, He showed us how to love each other in ways we never imagined." Ethan added, "God taught us that a strong marriage isn't about being perfect. It's about relying on Him and showing grace to each other every day." Their story inspired other couples in the church to seek God's guidance in their relationships. Ethan and Sophia began mentoring younger couples, sharing the lessons they had learned and encouraging them to build their marriages on the unshakable foundation of Christ. Ethan and Sophia's journey reminds us that no relationship is beyond God's power to restore. When couples invite Him into their lives, surrender their pride, and seek Him together, He can create a bond that grows stronger with every challenge. Their story is a testament to the transformative power of faith, love, and forgiveness. A journey that shows how a marriage centered on God can withstand any storm and flourish in His grace.